Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and I gotta tell you, I love life. But when I'm not being a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, or a practicing chiropractor, I'm the host of the television show Loving Life with Dr. Tim Weir. I love to cook. I love to travel. I like to spend time with people who do what they love and love what they do. Join me and Elvis for the next 30 minutes as we help you discover how to love life. Hey, this is Dr. Tim Weir. Welcome to this episode of Loving Life. What of you? We're going to be talking about things today that are going to help you change your life. Let's go right to it. If you're in Atlanta, this is one place that you just don't want to miss this. This is Zoo Atlanta. I'm with Simone. Simone, hey.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So this zoo is not huge, but it's incredible.
It is. It's 40 acres of lush greenery. We have world-class animals, top-notch exhibits, from gorillas to orangutans to our new exhibit, Trader's Alley, with sun bears. We have giant pandas, one of 4 zoos to even have giant pandas in North America. So it's a real treat and a great experience for the family.
So I can't wait to see it. Let's go do it, shall we?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go, come on.
These are all adults. The smaller ones are gray. That's maybe the couple in the back that you can see there. They're kind of grayish pink. They're getting into their colors, so they're becoming adults. But yeah, this is our flock.
And they can stand on one leg.
Very beautiful.
They are beautiful.
One of a main attraction that a lot of people like here at the zoo. So it's great.
That's awesome. Flamenco dancers. They always look like they're posing for pictures. They're really funny. Hi, how are you? Seen you on TV. Great job. Great. I love your work. You know, in the show, we always try to talk about health and wellness and all that kind of stuff. And here at Zoo Atlanta, they have, for the rhino, they actually have a exercise ball that he works out with here, which is really good over here.
Enrichment. We like to play with it. Exactly.
Yeah. It works the gluteal muscles a lot, so that's a good thing to do. Okay, now these are lemurs.
Lemurs, yes.
Got 2 kinds here.
We have 2 kinds. This is our black and white ruffled lemurs, and then we have our ringtail lemurs over there in the corner.
He looks kind of like a skunk.
They're very furry and they're cute and they like to jump around and move about. Right now they're kind of calm and relaxed.
I have a 6-year-old just like that at home. Likes to jump around and get wild. Well, let's go look at the ringtail. Are you smarter than an orangutan? Okay, here we go. Okay, what do you do? Just push here? Okay. No. No. I did it. I did that one. Oh, and I think this one. No, sorry. Sorry, you guys. That was the grace of God right there. Oh my God, which one was it? No. Wasn't that the same? Yeah. Where's my treat?
You're here at the zoo.
Don't change the channel. We'll be right back. We're with Amy Smith. Listen, all of this is good until the rubber meets the road.
Right.
And where does that, in the kitchen, so.
Everything
Let's
sounds
talk
good,
about
right?
it.
Until
Yeah.
you actually have to eat it.
So I got a bunch of stuff here,
Yep.
okay?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about what's keto and what's not.
Okay. Regular bagels.
You want to slap me, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. So these are regular bagels. You know what the funny thing is?
Okay.
Because you tell people don't eat wheat, and then they say, you're just talking about like white bread. You don't mean like that good whole wheat stuff.
It's still grains. Grains are gone. We don't eat grains. We have no use for those in the keto world. The magic food. Avocado.
You know, these are all over. I mean, you can
Yeah.
get these anywhere now. It used to be a Mexican restaurant was the only place you could get them. You can get them anywhere.
You can do so many things with these. I even have a brownie recipe that's made with avocado that is really, really good as well. But avocados are kind of the superfruit. When we are talking about, we have talked about macros and things like that. Avocado is technically a fruit. It is one of the only fruits that you could eat on the keto diet. You can have berries and avocado. Avocado has got a nut in it. They actually consider it a berry.
So we're putting that here. This is
This
good.
is good, yes.
Okay. Oh, these are good.
An apple a day will keep you in the doctor's office. It's gone.
Okay. Potatoes. These are God's gift to humanity here.
We can't have them. Or sweet potatoes. Anytime, if it's grown underground, you don't want it.
If it's grown underground. Do you hear that? Okay. Certainly this is going to be off the keto program. This is butter.
Guess what? The butter didn't make us fat. It was the bread. So don't blame the butter for what the bread did. We can keep the butter.
Sorry. That stays right here. Now, almond flour.
Yes, it's a guess. Almond and coconut flour are two of the most popular flours that you can use on the keto diet. If you are like me from the South, we fry everything. So I just ordered me an air fryer on Amazon Prime.
Really?
Yeah, pretty stoked about that coming in.
Air fryer.
Air fryer, yeah, just ordered it actually. But instead of using your regular flour to do your fried foods, you can do almond or coconut flour.
Good.
That's a good thing.
Almonds.
That's a yes.
Really?
Yes, that's a yes. Nuts in moderation are totally okay.
Yes. And that's what people say about me.
Nuts in moderation,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go, see?
Shredded coconut.
It's unsweetened.
Yes.
That's important to know.
Yes.
And we like organic, so yes, that's a yes.
How exciting. As rice.
That's a no.
Okay.
It's a big
Put that over
no.
here. So, Chinese food, you go out for Chinese food, you can't have that.
Well, it's best not to because, I mean, anybody, like if you go out for Chinese, if you ever notice that you can way overeat and you don't realize you're getting full and then all of a sudden you're just dying because you're so full at Chinese, but then an hour later you're hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we don't do that.
Okay. Pork skins.
Pork skins are normally good, but let's look at the label on that one. Does that one have sugar in it? Does it have
Less than
sugar?
0.
Oh, and then it has that word. Do you see that?
I'm telling you, that's why she's the queen. Maltodextrin, sugar.
Maltodextrin is in so many things. Be sure and check your vitamins for that as well. It's a cheap filler that a lot of companies use and it will kick you out of ketosis.
Now look at this. Pork skins, salt.
That's a winner.
We can't look at the label. Good. My grandma made this for us. It's just amazing. Whole grains, whole wheat. I'm not even going to talk about that. Two of the biggest offenders, wheat and sugar. Grains.
Yes.
Grains and sugar.
Grain, sugar, wheat. Yes, absolutely. Those are big no-nos.
Now, because I heard this the other day and I thought this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You feel bad, it's because you don't have enough carbohydrates and your liver is screaming for carbohydrates.
That is not true.
Isn't that dumb?
That is
A doctor told one of my patients that. Yeah.
It's electrolytes. A lot of people, carbs can give you electrolytes. So as long as you're getting it's not the carbs that you need, it's the electrolytes.
I'm telling you, this lady's got a whole lot more information. We're going to do a little bit more, okay? Don't change the channel because we got more coming up. Hey, the $64,000 question, do I have to paint and prime and prime and... I don't know, but my friend Donovan Lee knows. Rust-Oleum, thank you for being with me again.
So the answer to your question is not always, but there are times when you do need to paint. And I'm gonna try to simplify things for you so you know when you need to use a primer, and better yet, which primer you need to use
awesome.
for a certain job.
Okay.
All right. So in paints or primers, you really have three main components. The first one is solvent. Okay, that can be either an oil or a water. More commonly water.
Right.
Okay. All that does is make the paint or primer a liquid so that you can brush it on. Ultimately, that evaporates out. So a budget paint is going to have a whole lot of solvent in there because that's the cheapest component in the manufacturing process. Okay. Second component is pigments. Okay, pigments are what give you your color, your ability to hide a surface, the underneath surface. Okay, so let me ask you this, Dr. Tim. What do you think the main reason somebody would go out and buy a gallon of paint to paint a room would be?
It's ugly. Got to cover something up.
You're trying to change the color of a room, right?
Right.
All right. So, Dr. Tim, let me ask you, why do you think the main reason somebody would go out and buy a gallon of paint to paint a room would be?
Change the color of a room. Probably.
Exactly. The function of paint, or the primary function of paint, is to add color to a surface. So paints are very heavy on pigment.
Okay.
You need that pigment in the paint to give you the vivid colors that consumers are looking for nowadays. Okay. The third component that you see in paints and primers is the resin. Now the resin is what gives the paint or the primer its characteristics. It allows it to perform a function or to solve a problem. So primers are very heavy on resins because they have a function. That function might be to seal a stain. It might be to adhere to a glossy or hard to stick surface. It could be to block an odor. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you here, this is a piece of drywall that I painted with a paint and primer, a gray paint and primer. It's actually the one I used on my daughter's room. My daughter is Rachel here. And I asked her to write her name in four corners of this board here. So this is the uncoated side here. You can see she wrote her name in a permanent marker. Down here you can see I primed it. Okay. Now you notice you can see her name through the primer because remember, primers are not heavy on pigment.
Right.
Okay. Their job is to seal, so they're heavy on resin. So over here, I just painted it. I didn't prime it. And you can see that the marker has bled through the paint. Okay. And then down here, I primed and then painted. And as you can see, you can't see your name.
That's a huge difference.
It is a huge difference. So this is a time when you would need to use a primer if you're trying to block a stain.
Okay.
Okay. Here's another example. Let's say you had a leak in your roof. And you got a water stain on your ceiling.
Yep.
Okay. So I did the same thing here. So here's your water stain on just painted drywall. Here I primed it. And then down here, I did not.
No prime here, you can
No
tell
prime.
that.
You can see, it might be a little hard to see on camera, but you can see there's a different gloss level, and it has started to bleed through. There's a little bit of discoloration here. And then here I primed and painted, and you cannot see any sort of
So that primer really just blocks it.
It seals it. That's the term we like to use. It seals it, okay? So those are some times when you might want to use a primer. So how do we choose which primer we need to do a certain job? Well, the rule of thumb is you want to choose the primer that is the different chemistry from the stain you're trying to block. So commonly primers are either oil-based or water-based. So in this example here, this magic marker, it's a permanent magic marker, so it's a solvent base. It's an oil base.
Oil-based.
All right, so we want to use the opposite type of primer. We want to use a water-based primer. So an excellent water-based primer that's on the market today is Zinsser Bullseye 123. Okay, this is an interior-exterior primer, and like I said, it's water-based, so it will be good at blocking oil-based stains.
Wow.
Okay. This would be great for you in your kitchen if you get some grease stains up on the wall. Seal those grease stains down.
True. Yeah.
All right. For water-based stains, like we have here, you want to use an oil-based primer. So Zinsser Cover Stain is a great oil-based primer. Again, it's interior, exterior. It's also great for sealing bare wood.
Now, really, isn't that kind of crazy? Because you would think oil-based, I got to use an oil-based thing to cover that up, but you don't.
Exactly. You want to use the opposite because if you use the same, you re-wet the stain and it lifts through your top coat. So always, the rule of thumb, always use the opposite chemistry of the stain you're trying to block.
That's amazing.
All right. And then we also have some specialty primers out there. And one of my favorites is Zinsser Mold Killing Primer.
Yeah.
This is a very unique product. It's the only one on the market. It allows you to paint directly over mold.
Big problem.
Big problem, especially down here in the southeast.
Right.
All right. All you need to do is scrape off any loose mold and you paint right over, or prime right over it with mold killing primer. and it's got an EPA registered mold killer in there, so that it will actually, you can rest assured that it's going to kill the
How
mold.
awesome is that, man?
All right. So then, after you put the mold killing primer down and you've killed the mold that's there, you want to use a mold or mildew-proof paint like Zinsser Perma-White. This will prevent new mold from occurring in that spot because this cannot work through a top coat. Okay, the top coat has to prevent new mold.
And then finally,
Odor killing primer. Okay, another function of primers is perhaps to seal odors. Say you're in the kitchen, you get a grease fire going, you get a little bit of smoke odor in your drywall. You can't just use a regular paint or even some of these other primers to seal that odor in. You need to use a primer specifically formulated to block the odors.
good hardware stores.
You can find it in any great hardware store or big box retailers that have a paint or hardware department.
It's all about love and life. Don't change the channel, got more coming up. So Craig, we're in downtown Mount Airy. What an incredible little town. You know, I visit a lot of towns, and they're not making it.
Right.
But this place is thriving.
It is.
So what's the success step behind that?
Well, we were fortunate enough many years ago to have a man named Andy Griffith born here, and this is all kind of his legacy. People make a pilgrimage here from all over the United States and the world to see Mayberry. He patterned the town of Mayberry in the Andy Griffith Show after his hometown of Mount Airy. And even though the show is just in syndication, it's off the air for 4 decades or more, people still come here. Right over there is Barney's Cafe. Now that's something that sprung up because people want to come and see that. And you'll see over there Mayberry themed shops and the Mount Airy toy store and Opie's candy store. So
Wow.
there's a lot of non-Mayberry here too, but a lot of Mayberry, and the two things combine and make it a very fun town.
Well, and it seems the whole town is behind it.
Yes.
You know, they're actually embracing it probably because it's their lifeblood.
It's as close to Mayberry as you'll ever get.
Yeah.
This town was built on textiles and manufacturing and the furniture business, and that's all gone away, a lot of it. And thank God we had the Andy angle in Mayberry, and that's kept it alive, and tourism keeps it alive. And then there's a great arts program here too. Bluegrass, old-time music,
Yeah.
and so it's not just Mayberry, but that's the soul.
It's the soul of it's
Yeah.
that soul.
Yeah.
And it's that loving, warm soul and cold, hard granite.
That's right. Yeah, this is the Granite City. One of the world's largest open-face granite quarry is located here, and Probably everybody watching your show right now has walked on or seen some granite from Mount Airy at some point in their life, whether they've ever been within 100 miles of here or not. So,
Yeah, I'm telling you, almost every building's got some kind of granite.
it sure does.
Let's check out the rest.
Let's do it.
Spend some time on my website. That's drtimweir.com. It's just there's some information on there. It leads you to other places. It talks about my clinic a little bit and all that kind of stuff. We're also on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Go on Facebook, Loving Life with Dr. Weir. Look us up there. Get involved with your life. Get going. Get passionate once again. I'm telling you, life is too short not to be passionate about it. Listen, you got to blow the lid off this thing. You only get one chance. I don't want to die, you know, all nice and beautiful. I want to die all beat up and scraped up. I just want to have a good time doing what I'm doing. And I hope you'll do that too. And until next week, keep loving life. I'll see you next week. Typical bachelor.
He likes to scratch, so.
Evidently.
Huh?
Evidently.
I'll do that for a while.
Why don't you come and see me sometime? Bah, bah, bah. What do you think of the trade embargo we've got going on? Yeah, me too. Understand. Do 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 do.